everyone, Sean here, and today I'm actually driving home from work on a Friday. So yeah, this is another Friday. Been wonderful in terms of the workload being on the lower side of things. So that's why, of course, especially with us, we do look forward to Fridays, especially. So anyway. What to really talk about in this video? I mean, honestly, I'm kind of bored and have this set up already, so what is really there to point out kind of nowadays with, with gaming and whatever else, right? I mean, I guess this is just kind of gonna be like a rambling video, but I guess we can talk about the Switch 2, right? I mean, there's been a lot of rumors. It's been like the talk of the town, especially in comparison to like other stuff. No one's really talking about like, okay, maybe some people are with the PS5 Pro or whatever, but like the Nintendo Switch, that's a different story, because that console is showing its age quite drastically at this point. I think for me, the first certain game that kind of like started to show the age for me anyway was Bayonetta 3. Like, that thing barely ran 60 frames per second. I mean, it ran and it did its job, but damn. It's really showing the age of the hardware within that little thing. But it's been quite the interesting console. I hate using that word a lot, but that's just what it is. It's a specimen of its own, and I think that's what Nintendo's has been trying to do for a very long time, of course. It's not really competing with all the other consoles. I mean, why does it need to? It's Nintendo. They have their own games. They have their own brand. At this point, they've established themselves without the need to really do so. It's not like, I'm gonna go play or go buy a PlayStation to go play Mario. No, you can only do that on Nintendo or whatever. I'm gonna go play the Xbox to play Pokemon. No, it's only on Nintendo systems. I mean, you could do other things that are especially illegal, but in the official way, that's kind of how it goes. So anyway, Nintendo has its own footing. They're like in their own little island, and they're making their run and stuff like that. So anyway, but that being said, I think the Switch 2, whatever it's going to be called, I think they definitely need to stick with like the handheld type of thing. It is pretty popular, right? A lot of people love these like tablet-like devices today. The phone is kind of like that nowadays, especially with like the 15 Pro that's just been announced. It pretty much runs like a tablet, except the size, of course. Or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. But anyway, I think the Switch gimmick needs to stay around, I think, in order for Nintendo to kind of stand out even more, and tap into not only the Western side of things, but the Japanese side of things too, or Asian, really. Asian and all the other regions that are more proactive, as they are walking, to train to train or bus to bus or whatever, and there's a lot of that going on, which is why mobile gaming is so popular. So I think they need to, or should, I should say, keep it just so they can still have their foot in that part of the demographic, It's really the matter of, updating the hardware, and I think that is definitely possible with what's out there today. I mean, DLS SS is kind of like the new thing to boost performance while having relatively lower end hardware. You know, I'm using that to help run Cyberpunk decently, consistently. I mean, I could run it without it, but it's going to be laggy in some places, and consistency is really key when it comes to that kind of gaming. So DLSS does help quite a bit. So I think that's honestly going to be the forefront of technology going forward to help, keep the costs down for at least the manufacturer anyway, but still have like the similar performance that of a higher end machine. Especially when it's portable too, right? So you can only fit so much into that little thing. But I think it will be a little bigger, just so you have the bigger screen. I think it should still have the home console function, of course. I don't think people want, at this point, a DS anymore, or a 3DS. Maybe some people do, and I'm not trying to speak for everyone, but I feel like you just can't really go back on it anymore now that the Switch is out. The concept, right? It definitely needs to improve a number of things, because stuff like the Steam Deck has made its way around. It's now like firing on more cylinders, and it's a lot more smooth from what I've been hearing. One of my close friends has the Steam Deck and uses it as a means to primarily play PC games at that point without having to worry about all the PC parts and everything. So that it's kind of like what consoles were doing in the first place. It's because people just don't want to deal with the PC stuff. But now, because of how PC has sort of made itself easier and accessible to more people, right? You don't have to really like build yourself a PC anymore just to have like the high-end experience. You can just have pre-built stuff, and the pre-built stuff is better than before, of course. You have NZXT, you have all those other PC building companies that do that sort of stuff. Stuff like that is out there, and that is, I think honestly that's like the only competitor is the Steam Deck, and so if Nintendo kind of fails to sort of like pay attention to that, I think it'll definitely fumble in some ways. Not completely, of course. It's still Nintendo, and people will still buy said Mario and Pokemon games, but people will talk about it. People will point out those things, and hopefully that'll put some sort of fire under Nintendo's ass. But I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling at that point. But if I haven't already, it would be really cool to continue to see it evolve, right? We kind of see it we kind of saw that with the Wii and the Wii U, but ultimately it failed to meet the sort of outstanding expectations because they relied too much on it's just gonna market itself, right? The marketing was really bad in comparison to other stuff. But with the Switch, it was marketed properly, and guess what happened, right? It's become so popular because of what it does, what it can do. Now, do people actually use the portable aspect of things? I've seen it happen. I've seen it at Evo. I've seen it at conventions. People bring the Switch to just like game in between. At the lines and stuff like that. I've seen it happen. So there is a use, no matter how you look at it, right? Just because you don't use it for portable purposes doesn't mean there's no people doing that. That doesn't mean that. And the same thing goes with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck has its use, and there are people who just want to do that on a couch or on their bed, and Even though their PC is like right there, they want to lie on their bed, relax, and game that way. There are some people in my circle that just don't understand that. Just certain people, just small amount of people that don't really understand that. At least that's what they boast anyway. I think there definitely is a place for it, of course. I mean, I haven't asked that person about it recently of how they feel about the Steam Deck, how useful it is in their eyes anyway. But anyway, the Switch 2 definitely is really a matter of when, really. It's not really a matter of if at this point. We know it's coming. It's gonna happen. Will it have the handheld capabilities and the home console switching capabilities? Who the hell knows, right? But according to rumors, it seems like they're gonna keep the Switch gimmick. It seems like. Again, but these are rumors, so take them with a grain of salt. So I think there is hope there in that little aspect. It's just it's really the matter of the performance. I think that's really going to be the main selling point for this next one. We've already seen the switching gimmick, right? We know it's there. Now we need another reason, right? And if the graphics and everything are enough to where it's like, bam, like, wow, that's a huge jump and stuff like that, consistent, smooth, 60 frames per second, butter smooth and all that stuff, then there is a reason for people like me to go ahead and pick it up. I would have picked it up regardless because I tend to just buy Nintendo consoles just like that. When it comes to PlayStation and nowadays when it comes to PlayStation, I kind of wait on it, right? That's how I would like to do, because it's like really less and less reason for me to get the PlayStation nowadays, like that, right? But Nintendo's like they got that down. They got that definitely that foot down, to have a place for me as a gamer, right? A number of people I know just have the PC and Nintendo. That's kind of how they roll with it. Now, of course, yes, the PlayStation has some exclusives, of course. So there is that. And, there was that whole thing with like the PlayStation 5 being pretty scarce at some point. It was really hard to grab one, especially during the pandemic of things, right? Came at a pretty hectic time, right? But it is what it is, right? It's just scalped out the butt. Same with the Switch too. Or Switch also. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just been a lot of thoughts about it, random thoughts. I was hoping to package it into a video while I'm driving back home, make use of my time and stuff like that, because I do want to do other things before I go streaming more Mortal Kombat 1, but I don't know. It's just a rambling video about mainly, I guess, the Switch 2 today. So if anyone wants to get in on the conversation of the Switch 2 in some way or some form, I'm all ears. And what do you guys think of it? I mean, what does the Switch 2 need to do in order for it to sort of stay, not compete, but kind of have a place, right? So to say. Is it performance? Is it just performance? Or is it the more of kind of nuances, right? The Nintendo philosophies, right? They need to stop fucking do this whole like copyright thing with Zelda and blah blah blah. Get with the times, update their internet infrastructure. That menu needs to have some music. God damn it! God, jeez, man, it's been so long. I thought they were gonna update the menu, but no, man, no music, man. I love the Wii menu music. I love that shit. Good vibes, very good vibing. And people still listen to that kind of music for a reason, because It's just like, I don't know, it just like kind of sets you in that mood. And it's such a great thing that Nintendo used to do when it comes to these menus, but the Switch is kind of like dry, dead. I mean, it's orange, sure, but in some areas, like, you know, the shop, if it's orange, but and hopefully with the Switch 2, you know, they put the music in there, you know. Anyway, any comments relating to the Switch 2, rumors and all that stuff, I'm all ears, man. Put that in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Really appreciate it, guys. There's a lot of people who watch these videos aren't subscribed, so just want to give that a little reminder. So, anyways, that's all I got before I really ramble on about nothing else, really. And I'm actually reaching close to my house. So, yeah. So, thank you very much, and hope to see you all in the next one. Sean out.